how you all doing? Oh, I made a bit of a boo-boo. When plans don't happen because you didn't think. Not you, me. But I'm plagued. I don't know if that can be heard, but for a chunk of the day I've not had a voice. Seems instead of getting over one cold, I've just picked up another one. It's been brilliant. But that's not the boo-boo. That's a pretty hardcore goof, but not the one that was going on. So here's the groove, okay? I had a few little things that I wanted to do today, but there was a certain order in which they had to be done. Mission critical. And if they weren't done in the right order, I think the picture is forming, right? I got some stuff in to rebuild a storage server. To literally rebuild a storage array. And I was like, right, project time. Let's get all this stuff ready, whap in the new drive, rebuild the array, job done. And I take the drive, bush, in the array rebuilding. Cool, excellent, fantastic. 8 hours. Oh, okay, cool. Right, so what else have I got to do? Oh, hey, this SSD. Wait, oh, hang on. I need to format this. But it's got data on it that I need to move over to the storage array, because there's nowhere else that I can put it with sufficient space. And the storage array is now busy for the remainder of the day. Well, that one went sideways fast. Basically, because I didn't copy these files over first, everything else has had to go on hold because my stupid brain didn't go, do that first. Do it first, mate. No, put the drive down. No, not this one, that one. Put it down, don't put it in the... Leave it. You can rebuild the array later. Move this stuff over so that you can then you don't need the array for the rest of the day. Pop in the extra drive, and then you can work on this for a bit. Didn't happen. Nay a thing. So... instead, I went on an adventure. I started digging around, playing around with federated social networks. Not something I need to go hardcore into, but realistic. So a federated network is a social network, simply as I can explain it realistically, where you have multiple instances, but each instance can communicate with other instances. So an example of how most people would use social media is you'd use Twitter or Facebook or something like that, and I don't know, you might get banned from insert network here, or network gets shut down in your country for whatever reason, and it's dog shite because now you can't use that thing. It's just not a thing. Federated social networks, because they're instanced, the bonus is that realistically they're going to be a nightmare for anyone to try and shut down. because there are just so many versions of them, and they can be spun up in a heartbeat and can communicate with everything else on the network. So, as an example, another example, I use Mastodon, and the server that I use is mastodon.social. I know folks who also use the Mastodon server, Linux Rocks. Okay, I can message people from mastodon.social, or I can message from mastodon.social to Linux Rocks. They can go from Linux Rocks to Mastodon Social, and I can talk to people on Mastodon Social, they can talk to people on Linux Rocks, and it just all meshes in together. Mastodon is like Twitter, just realistically better. And there's no algorithms to say what you can and can't do, or to curate content for you. You just get steamrolled, smacked in the face with the social media baseball bat. Everything that's there just in your face. But the thing with regular social media is, right, it's like screaming into the void. You know, you are but one speck in this huge sea of people screaming for attention, and the likelihood of you being found was pretty slim, right? I mean, there's enough people there for you to build and talk to lots of people, but you're also not, you know, you are screaming. There is so much noise to signal. Sometimes you could be screaming for days, weeks, months, years, and no one sees you. Okay? As if that's what you're going for, right? Whereas on a federated network, they're generally smaller, much smaller communities. So if you're looking to make your bajillions from social media, a federated network isn't necessarily going to do it for you. However, the quality of the signal there is so much better, because there are less people just spitting every random thought out there. It's a much more deliberate place. I don't know, that's not the right word. But like, a normie will go to Twitter before they go to Mastodon. I'm sure that many, if they did try and go to Mastodon, would go, the app, I don't understand, or not the app is difficult, or none of my friends are here, or I can't build a massive audience here, why would I use it, kind of thing. Quality of conversation on these federated networks is actually pretty good. But so I've jumped back into and playing around with federated networks. I started on Mastodon back in like 2017, something like that. But it was great fun, right? As I say, it's a signal to noise things. These are not difficult to set up. They're great little communities. You've got communities that are like, there could be an instance for a specific thing that you like. There's probably like a My Little Pony instance out there if you were into that kind of thing, and you could hang out with all the bronies and still communicate with everyone else in the outside world where people aren't into not anthropomorphic, whatchamacallits, are they? But whatever they are. So that's not really just the only groove. Oh wow, my battery's running out. Let me just give you some examples of federated networks before my battery runs out, because what I actually did today was spin up another kind of thing. I set up on my website an instance of Oncast. And what Oncast is the kind of free, open-y, instanced-y, federated-y, not-y version of Twitch. Right, but you've got, as an example, Diaspora, Facebook, Friendica, Facebook, PixelFed, I like that one, Instagram, Funkwhale, I've not used that one, SoundCloud, Oncast, Twitch, Mastodon, Twitter, and PeerTube, YouTube. There's also other stuff like Odyssey, Library, that kind of thing for YouTube. But I spun up a live streaming instance for the lols. I couldn't use my server, so I fired up a VPS, just a server instance, and just spun this up and attached it to my website and started digging around. I digged around with this kind of thing. Was it last year before? I was absolutely. It was brilliant fun, but I didn't really go balls deep on it. And when I was sat on Mastodon, just scrolling through feeds, toots they're called, much longer tweets, better quality tweets. Loads of people were talking about streaming on Omcast instances, so I was like, okay, cool, I'll do that again, see where the software's gone. It's actually really nice. I haven't really finished setting it up, so I haven't put in like logos and splashes and customized the page with CSS or anything, but I did put in on live.skazius.com. That's my old stuff. I go as Skazius on everything Linux, right? I just put in a list of loads of different federated networks that people can use. I like this kind of stuff just because it's not hugely corporate. It's not loaded with ads. It's something that I really hate about Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. That you scroll for a couple of seconds and you just get a face full of adverts, and it's infuriating. Or you get these random curated things because you liked that thing 6 months ago, and now all we're going to do is feed you extra stuff that looked like that, even though you know there's hundreds, thousands, millions of different kinds of things on the platform. They're just kind of hiding it from you because they're algorithmically curating it for you. It's annoying. And plus there are people out there who maybe can't use Twitter and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. So a federated network ain't so bad. As I say, it's a signal to noise thing. Instagram used to be cool, right? And now it's full of normies talking shite constantly. Full of adverts and people trying to get famous. Yeah, you've got the potential to grow a big audience on those platforms because there are hundreds of thousands, millions of users on them. But they're all probably trying to do the exact same thing as you. If you want to have an actual conversation where there's some actual signal there and not just a fucking redonkulous amount of noise, federated. And you can spin up your own instance if you want of all of these. The code is out there. If you've got a server or an old computer, you can run one. You could run one of these instances internally in your own house if you wanted to. You could have a local pixel-fed instance. You could have a local Mastodon instance just for your house, for your family, or you could set one up for your town or school or whatever like that. You could just set one up for your friends if you wanted to. You could open it up to the public and have more people come in, but you know, this stuff is out there and it's so much fun to play with. So much fun to play with. Because I closed my Facebook again recently. I tend to go dark. I go dark from this kind of stuff quite a lot. Because I'm not a huge fan of social media. When I was younger, we used to dream of having an ability to a device that could keep us connected to the internet all the time. Of the always connected PDA, personal digital assistant, to have a mobile connection that would have us connected to the internet all the time so that we could share our low quality pictures. I mean, like low res, they were pretty shit quality too, but low res, small file sizes. You know, back in the day, let's put it this way, this was way back when people used to send photos to strangers over Bluetooth, right? I can remember sitting on a train and say, oh yeah, so-and-so wants to send you a JPEG. I was like, what? Okay. And it was like a couple of lassies like sat like fucking a few seats behind me. They just sent us pictures, right? So this is how long ago I'm talking about. Like we're talking before really the smartphone era kind of kicked off. We wanted that kind of stuff because we wanted to be able to leave our homes and potentially still be connected to IRC or Yahoo or MSN or ICQ or whatever like that, and still be able to have these conversations. It's one of the things I miss about back in the day too, in that I could shut down my PC, fuck off out of my house, and if you didn't know where I was, you couldn't contact me. I could actually turn things off if I wanted to, and it wasn't a complete faff. I wasn't cutting my nose off to spite my face, you know. But shut down my Facebook account. I'm not a fan of Facebook. I don't find it useful at all. It only takes one bellend to be added to your friends list to piss in the pool and ruin it for everyone else. And you go from having a nice experience to someone talking about how they, I don't know, they'll start spreading politics or religion or some horse like that. Not interested in any of that kind of stuff. If you like it, groovy. Not something I want to have just spammed on my wall. Also, really pisses me off when all people do is post memes. If it's a meme you made yourself, GG. If it's just like some random shit you found, if I want memes, I'll fuck off to 4chan. I have no idea what that was, but good job. I think something might have just failed then. What was it? I'll check you in a minute. I know that fan is spun down. That can't be a good sign. Does anyone ever go to 4chan anymore? I'm just saying, that's where we used to get our memes from, man, back in the day. We dreamed about all this technology, this connected device, and then when I saw, because people used to take the piss out of me and my friends back in the day because we used to use the internet. We had our own personal websites, which were kind of cool to a handful of people, but for the most part, you were a fucking nerd. Right? Then time goes on, and the cool kids get hold of these. They get hold of smartphones, and all of a sudden, my fucking god, they're addicted to social media. Social media comes out around the same time as the smartphone, really takes off, and it hooks society. And now you just see people going, duh, looking at their phone, dribbling over a Facebook profile, or an Instagram profile, or a TikTok page, which, by the way, if you're in your 30s, get off TikTok. It's for the kids, man. Get the fuck off. You're not cool enough. You missed that shot. Ain't no kid wanting to be on TikTok with their parents. You aren't doing anything interesting anyway. Get in the bin. You're done. Do you have a TikTok, Skaz? Probably. I might have done. I don't know. Now, Luke. Really? Really? Maybe. I don't know. Just something to do in it. I think that's why most people do it. But I saw what it did to people and I ran the fuck away. I'm not a fan of... What was it that turned off? I don't know. Oh, hang on. It said I was going to hibernate. It's on 76% battery life. What's going on there? Yeah, it really got to me. So social media seems empty. This is me spinning a story about how I left Facebook, isn't it? Facebook, Meta, I got a Facebook account again because I have an Oculus Quest 2 VR headset. And it became a requirement that you had to have a Facebook account with your real name. And so I started spinning up accounts with my real name, because if I used my previous handles on Facebook, and when the American government decides they're going to have an election, love you guys, Facebook tend to have a bit of a purge every now and then. And occasionally, if they see a funky name, they like to check to see if you're a real person. And then they go, hey, yo, you got any ID that matches the name on this here page? And if our survey says, you're fucking banned, didn't you? So I didn't want to connect my VR headset to a potentially bannable account. So new accounts under my real name, and that's how we're moving forwards. Well, Meta changed their stance, didn't they? Facebook changed their stance. Now you can use a Meta account, which means apparently, or it seems, light testing, I don't need to have a Facebook account anymore. So I disabled it. If I had disabled it before, I'd have lost access to all my purchases of my VR headset. That's a fucking ball ache, you dickheads, Meta. But now, not so much an issue. But I do love me some Federated networks. I think Federated is so much better than any of the stuff you'll find on Facebook. And because you do find the shit stirrers on Federated networks, you'll find them everywhere. But you're somewhat less likely to. And as I say, the signal to noise ratio there is just so much better. The interfaces are usually better too, so you get a better experience. Smaller crowds, but cleaner. Now, I think that's one place that open source software actually still has a reasonable chance at kicking the ever-loving soddery out of mainstream big company corpo stuff. You know, they're all generally good places. Recommend you all check them out. If you want to spin up like your own Omcast thing, all it is literally a page, an RMTP server with a page. Look, it gives you a page, not a whole site. People can't sign up for it. It just gives you a place where it squirts out your video like an embed, and a built-in chat page and a way for people to follow with their federated IDs, like their mastodon.socials or their Linux rocks or their PeerTube addresses or whatever. They can follow and get notifications on their platforms for you going live, because this is all part of the Fediverse. It's kind of cool, your own private Twitch. As I say, no one's going to fucking watch it. But it's something you do for fun. You're not gonna make your millions, but you also don't have to worry about people telling you what you can and can't do and what you can and can't say. They're not harvesting your data because no one's collecting it. You are not the product. However, for those super privacy minded, let it be known that no matter where you post, if it's ever something you don't want to have found, don't post it. Because as soon as you put it out there, it's probably at some point going to be discovered. If you don't want it to be, don't put it out there, or don't take it. It's that whole groove. If you don't want to get in trouble, don't do it. If you can't handle the consequences, don't do it. So even if you do post some random hateful, spiteful, bigoted, homophobic fluff on Federated Network, you probably will get your ass beat. But yeah, generally cool people. I've just been dicking around with that today, and I think other people should too, because I really do like them, and I've been rabbiting on for so long at this point. How have I been going on for? Oh shit, 22 minutes. I need to find out what that badung was and get back to doing other bits, but all because I forgot to transfer this stuff over to the array before I started rebuilding the array. Use your noddle before you do other stuff. That's the other thing you should do. Engage this before you engage this, or this before these. Have a field day, keyboard warriors. I remember that dream, having those connections and being able to do all of that stuff. And when I saw other people get it, it really freaked me the fuck out. Because now you get on a train or whatever and you see all these people on their laptops or their iPads or their phones, and people never did that back in the day. Like, if you did, you were a fucking nerd. So, yeah. Spin up your own, join someone else's instance. It's all instance, it's all fun, it's all customizable. It's not something that a lot of people dick around with. I do think that the Facebooky kind of ones aren't hugely popular, but Omcast and Mastodon and PixelFed, they seem to be alright. You know, they are very much what you would expect from like a better Twitter or a better Instagram, or not so much a better Twitch, but you know, your own spin where you can just stream too. It was fun to dick around with a VPS today and get all that set up. I set mine up on Linode. You've even got one-click installs if you don't want to try and figure out how to do half of the stuff. You can just and link it to a domain, and jobs are done. It's just neat. You don't need to go to Corpo Land to use social media. It doesn't have to be monitored and controlled by algorithms. You don't need to have everything curated and fed to you. You don't need to be shat all over by ads every 15 seconds or block trackers every 15 seconds. There are still places out there. Just you have to sacrifice all of that noise, all of those people to do it. You know, it's pretty cool, I think. Oh, and LibraPay. If anyone's looking for a more friendly Patreon, LibraPay. So, cool. Right, I'm going to head off. That is not where I want to go with that. I went off on a bit of a tangent there. Right. Anyway, back to the badung and the rebuild, and I'll see you all with a bit of luck in the next one. If anyone goes onto any of these federated networks, let me know. Let me know where you go. Let me know what you try. And, yeah, it's just fun. They've been out for years and years and years. Most people don't touch them. It's not stuff that people talk about. And they're available worldwide. I don't think many of them I don't think they're blocked anywhere, are they? Session's a good one as well. WhatsApp or Signal Messenger without the need for a phone number. So, there you go. Right. See you. What the fuck was that noise?